Recently, TomTom asked us to put their Bandit action cam to the test. The spec's pretty solid. It'll do 2.7K at 30 frames per second, and then it'll do 120 frames per second at 720p. But the main thing we're interested in is the smartphone app, which lets you edit and upload footage wherever you are, say out on the trail.
So the idea is you can edit the footage really quickly on the go, and then you can bang out social media clips that aren't just raw footage within minutes of finishing your ride. So I came up with a challenge. Could I, as a staff writer who doesn't really know anything about editing video or filming, make a better video than Joe, a professional videographer who has all the tools at his disposal for editing and filming?
The rules for this challenge were, we'd each get a bike, we'd each get a TomTom camera, and we'd have 2 hours to go out and ride and make our edit. The obvious differences here is that I've got to make that edit on my laptop, which is going to take probably half of my riding time, whereas Ed had to make his edit with the app, which means he gets a lot more riding time, but then less options in the edit. The challenge took place at the Forest of Dean. It's a pretty nice place to ride. So what were your kind of tactics on the day, and how did you go about making your edit?
Well, I was pretty confident that with the app, I could make the edit pretty quickly, so I thought I'd probably go riding for about an hour and a half, hour 50 minutes, and then leave myself about 10 minutes to do the edit. I just thought I'd try and find all the best bits on the hill and try and get the best clips I could, move the camera around, get a few different clips of me riding the bike, really.
Cool. For me, I was going to have to spend a lot more time editing. Over half my time I spent editing compared to riding. That meant I couldn't go as far into the trail centre to get my clips, and I also spent a lot more time swapping between the different angles to get as many kind of interesting angles as I could. So at this point, we're going to have a look at both the edits. We're going to start with Ed's 1 minute edit. So there's Ed's edit. It's pretty rad riding. How do you feel about it now you've seen it?
I tried my best. I went out there for about 2 hours. I'm pretty happy with the clips I got. I did a lot of riding anyway. I was pretty knackered by the end of it. I think the thing I kind of struggled with a bit, I wasn't really sure. You probably know all the good angles, so it took me a bit of figuring out to do that.
Yeah, you kind of got stuck on
a
lot of chest mounts, and I thought probably the most interesting angle was kind of you doing the kick-outs and stuff over the jumps, where I was actually looking back at your knees and stuff like that.
I think the thing I was conscious of was I only had the 2 hours, so I didn't want to spend too long playing around with the different mounts and linking up to my phone to check them. I tried to go as fast as I could and put the, on the helmet cam and
paid the price with a puncher.
Yeah, I did have a bit of a hiccup in the middle. Went around the corner too fast and my tyre blew up.
How did you find editing with the app though?
Well, it's good. The TomTom Bandit's got this feature called Shake to Edit. So you link the phone with the camera using the Wi-Fi, and then all you do is shake your phone and it produces an edit using clips that the TomTom camera's selected as highlights.
So it's pretty quick.
Yeah, it's really quick. It doesn't even transfer the files across to the phone, so you shake it for about 10 seconds, choose the length of the video you want, and then you're done, pretty much. Or you can go in and do a bit more editing after that if you want.
Cool, but you found with the kind of just using the Shake to Edit function in isolation that it didn't quite get the edit you wanted. It wasn't quite good enough.
Yeah, the clips weren't quite maybe the best ones. It used an accelerometer and a GPS built into the camera to select the highlights, but I found it sometimes picked out parts where I was just starting out or it wasn't the best action. So what I found was good to do was I selected some of the, using the star button on the camera while I was filming to manually select a highlight, and I also went in and moved some of the clips around and chose my own highlights in the app.
So there's Ed's edit. He went for maximum speed and a lot of riding time. I obviously didn't have as much time as that, so I decided just to have a bit more fun with it. Here it is.
Well, that wasn't too bad. You obviously took things a bit less seriously than me. How do you think it went?
Yeah, I think it went okay. The time pressure I was under was a lot more than you because I needed to spend a lot of time editing, whereas my riding time was obviously going to be quite short. I tried to use a lot of different angles to try and make it a bit more exciting, but yeah, I definitely didn't get to ride as many of the exciting bits of the trail centre as you did. The things where I was able to kind of get a bit more polish out of the edit compared to someone that's just using the app and the normal functions is I was able to kind of beat match on the track a bit. I gave it a little grade. It was a lot easier for me to kind of select quicker clips once I knew where they were. Conversely, I did have to go through all my clips to find the most exciting parts of the ride. I guess because it was a fairly short amount of time, I had a good idea where they were, but I definitely spent about 10 or 15 minutes just scrubbing through all the clips to find the relatively interesting parts during my ride time. Maybe if I did it again, I'd probably spend a bit more time riding and enjoy myself and worry a bit less about the edit and making that super polished.
Well, I certainly was tired at the end of it.
Now I've seen my edit, if you decided to make that film again, would you spend a bit more time editing or do you think you'd stick to the way you did it originally?
I think I'd probably stick to the way I did it actually. That was the first time I'd used the camera, so I didn't really know too much about it. But I think second time, you could really make the most of the fact it links with your phone. So you could make sure that with the Wi-Fi and you can see the camera on your screen, you can make sure you get the angles just right on there. And I think one of the big things is you're not going to end up with hours and hours of helmet cam footage clogging up your laptop. You can just film it and then you can make the edit and you don't have to keep the files on your phone, so you don't really have to sit there and upload hours and hours of footage at home.
I quite enjoy editing, so even though I spent an hour and 10 minutes editing and a bit less time riding, it was time I quite enjoy because you get to be a bit more creative with the clips you choose and stuff like that. You get to you can kind of zoom in on the track a bit more and change the pace and stuff like that. But I can kind of see where if you're trying to be quick and you're trying to be fast, that the Bandit function would be useful. Although we set this out to be a challenge and to try and find a clear winner, it's a bit of a boring answer, but I don't think we found one really, did we?
No, not really. I think they both have their merits really. If you want to make something really polished, then obviously the way you did it is the way to go. If you just want something quick and you want more riding time, then the shake to edit function is probably the one. But I'd say I probably had more fun than you. I did more riding.
Yeah, that's probably true.